Well, happy Monday, all you fabulous freight masters out there. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It rained here. Um, Not the whole weekend, but yesterday it did kind of dampen things a little bit, but it was still the weekend, right? It was all right. Um, but I wanted to talk to you guys about a recent TIA report, and I am going to get my ugly mug off of here and pop this up for y'all so you have a visual. Okay. And we will go over this. The TIA's 2024 report shows a sharp rise in freight fraud, urging logistics companies to adopt stronger fraud prevention measures. Okay. According to a new report from the TIA, the logistics industry is facing a massive surge in fraud that is costing companies millions. In the report, the TIA describes an industry under siege by increasingly sophisticated fraudsters, urging companies to evolve their defenses. The 12-page report compiles responses from nearly 200 industry professionals between February and August 2024. I'm not going to go over the whole 12-page report. This is just a synopsis of it. By all means, if you want to jump on the TIA website and check that out, go ahead and do so. I kind of wanted to do some key takeaways from it. Some of the key stats from this is a 600% increase in cargo theft between November 2022 and March 2023. Fraud costs per load exceed $40,000. Average company losses due to fraud top $402,000. And once again, top targeted states are California, Texas, Illinois, Florida, and Georgia. Okay, I believe those are the same states that we had mentioned before when we talked about states with highest levels of freight fraud. The most common fraud types: cargo theft is the most prevalent and costly, with electronics, solar panels, and household goods being the top targets. I don't want to leave off of that list. We've also seen refrigerated freight, like seafood, I believe, and beef. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I am, roast me in the comments below. Yeah, I think we recently reported that on beef, and I believe there was seafood on that as well. Financial fraud includes unlawful brokerage and fraudulent invoicing, with 43% of respondents listing unlawful brokerage as their top concern. Okay, a little bit of a plug for Operfi here with the fraudulent invoicing, unlawful brokerage. If you are considering factoring, looking to switch factoring, I would urge you to at least talk to the people over at Operfi, right? Really great team of people. I can't say enough about them. Again, real industry knowledge. And they have, I've heard numerous stories from other companies that use them on how they actually help with fraudulent invoicing and things. And go to run a check on like if you're a carrier and you go to run a check on a brokerage, a lot of times it'll pop up in their system as a warning. Will Rogers warning. Is that right? Will Rogers? I don't. It's from an old TV show. I just kind of dated myself there a little bit. Identity theft continues to grow as criminals impersonate legitimate carriers to commit fraud. Actually, this is kind of a good point, because actually just this morning I was through chat with someone and had asked me to double check a carrier for them, and yeah, it was the identity theft, double brokering, and their authority was again like a month old, so they didn't even have any Class 8 trucks. And I'm pretty sure that this person primarily moves a lot of dry van freight. So yeah, you're probably not pulling that in your F-250, you know. Um, so the average company surveyed lost over $400,000 to fraud, with some facing losses exceeding $1 million. One respondent, Rob Hoffman of Dedicated Carriers, shared how a load of $50,000 worth of goods was held ransom by criminals demanding $40,000. Right? Some things that you can do is collaborate with shippers, brokers, carriers, right? Strengthen your vetting process for carriers, as well as, and I don't want to leave this out, carriers, vet your brokers. Okay, I've brought this up so many times in the past probably year or two about carriers getting scammed by double brokers, brokers posing, or unlawful brokers trying to pose as legitimate brokers. The whole identity theft thing. You've got to vet your carriers. Okay. One thing you can do is build relationships. I know I get preachy on that, but really truly build relationships, and then you have much less worry. It behooves you in the long run, right, as brokers and as carriers and shippers, to build those relationships, strengthen those relationships. It really goes a long way, financially, for everyone involved. Investing in advanced technology to detect fraud. So, utilizing things like Highway, eCarrierCheck, for instance, right? It's not a plug for any of those places. I don't get any kickback from either one. Just that those are good platforms to use. So by all means, if you're not already utilizing some of those, check that out. And then again, if you're factoring, check with your make sure you're, well, they're not approved, I'm just going to run the load. No, please don't do that, right? Do a little, and you can't rely on Safer. You just can't, because Safer's information does not tell the whole story. And there's a lot of brokers that I've talked to, a lot of carriers. Well, they looked okay on Safer. Yeah, but again, it doesn't tell the whole story. You've really got to have an external software, like I said, like eCarrierCheck or Highway or something equivalent, that really shows a much more in-depth look on that company that you're potentially going to work with, right? Fraud prevention remains a huge time drain, with 19% of companies spending an entire day each quarter on prevention alone. And despite many efforts, fraud continues to evolve, requiring constant vigilance, right? This is something that I get preachy about. I mean, I guess I do, but I don't, right? I'm not here to stand up at a podium and tell everybody what they need to do, but for your own sake, a little investment in vetting and, technology that can kind of help give you that whole view of a company that you're potentially going to work with, really truly can save you many, many thousands of dollars. Okay. That's about it for me today. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Like I said, it's Monday. A lot of stuff to get caught up on. I'm getting bombarded with emails and things that I was actually kind of unsure if I was even going to be able to kick this video out to you guys this morning, but figured I'd take a quick few minutes and do this, and got to get back at it, right? We're always hustling. So with that, I hope everybody's having a great day, have a great week, and I will see you all back here soon. All right. As always, be kind to one another. All right. Bye-bye now.